Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. 100-Year-Old Blacksmith. Temper the skin 10,000 times at the beginning. Chapter 21. It's here, go ahead. At the gate of the Practitioner Alliance, Lin Shu said to the two martial masters. Okay, then we'll go back. Lin Great Master, be careful on the road. Lin Great Master walked slowly. The two martial masters sent Lin Shu away enthusiastically, and then returned to the alliance. I turned out to be a great master. Out of the Practitioner League, Lin Shu laughed. He originally saw on the system panel that Own Realm had changed from an ordinary person to a practitioner, so he came to the Practitioner Alliance to participate in the assessment, which can be regarded as making up for previous regrets. I never expected that after a visit, I would become a Grand Great Master. Wherever the Grand Great Master is placed, it is incomparably noble. A single sentence can determine the fate of countless people, and stomping one's feet can trigger a major earthquake. It all happened so suddenly, Lin Shu was not prepared for it. What should I pay attention to when I become a Grand Great Master? Are there many things that you can't do in the future? Lin Shu felt troublesome after thinking about it for a while. A Grand Great Master is also a human being, and cannot be forced to change himself just because he became a Grand Great Master. It's better to live freely, to do whatever you want, and to be yourself is the most important thing. Lin Shu was going to take a taxi home. Just in time, he saw a familiar driver, the one who brought him here in the morning. Send me back. Lin Shu got into the car and drove back. Well, the driver responded twice, seemed a little nervous, and didn't dare to look back at Lin Shu, but only occasionally glanced at Lin Shu secretly through the reflective mirror of the driving recorder. Aren't you very talkative when you came? Why don't you talk? Lin Shu said. He successfully passed the assessment and became a Grand Great Master. He was in a good mood and wanted to chat with someone. Ah, old grandpa, what do you want to talk about? I'll chat with you. The driver said nervously. As for why he was so nervous, it was because he saw with his own eyes just now that two big martial masters sent Lin Shu out. Oh my God. The martial master saw him off in person. Did this old man pass the assessment? But even so, he only became a practitioner. How could he be able to be sent off by the martial master? The driver can't figure it out, but it doesn't matter, as long as he knows that this old man is very powerful. Now thinking back to when he sent Lin Shu here in the morning, he even sneered a few words, and he wanted to slap himself hard for being so cheap. Quote. Lin Shu was a little speechless. He didn't want to talk with the driver like this. The other side, Wei Dogwo was sitting in the car in disbelief, while Wei Kong was driving in front, also in a trance, running through several red lights. At this time, Wei Dogwo's cell phone rang, and the call came. Hello, this is the Practitioner Alliance. I would like to inform you that due to your violations, your practitioner status has been cancelled, and you have been blocked by the Practitioner Alliance. You will not be allowed to step into the Practitioner Alliance half-step in the future. A cold voice came from the other side of the phone. Ah, why, hey, I just passed the assessment and became a practitioner. Wei Dogwo was stunned, shouted into the phone, and finally cried. Wei Kong frowned, not too surprised by this result. But at this moment, a call came from Wei Kang's mobile phone. Wei Kang's face trembled, showing fear, and he answered the call with trembling fingers. Hello, this is the Practitioner Alliance. We hereby inform you that due to your violations, your status as a senior practitioner has been cancelled, and you will no longer enjoy all relevant benefits. After finishing speaking, it hung up there. Pong. Wei Kong lost his mind for a while, and the car crashed into the traffic light pole on the side of the road, causing chaos. After the driver brought Lin Shu back, he quickly slipped away without asking for any money. When Lin Shu came home, both children had gone to school, and he was alone. Although I have been certified as a Grand Great Master, my strength is still far from that of a real junior Grand Great Master. Lin Shu was not dazzled by today's events, and began to face up to the own issue. He can only burst out the combat power of a Grand Great Master, but his spirit power is still at the level of a junior practitioner. This will cause Lin Shu's battles to not last long enough, and his spirit power will disappear after a while. Besides, the gap between Lin Shu and Grand Great Master, and fighting skills. Every Grand Great Master has fought bloody battles from the brink of life and death, from the siege of ferocious beasts. They have also cultivated a powerful martial skill, which is very powerful in combat. Lin Shu is almost zero in this respect. However, Lin Shu also has an advantage, that is, his skin defense is unmatched by other Grand Great Masters. He turned on the computer and logged on to a web page, the Practitioner Store. This is an online store specially set up by the Practitioner Alliance, where you can basically buy everything a practitioner needs daily, and the price is cheap and fair. Even as long as you pay enough star coins, you can also get one-on-one guidance from the strong members of the Practitioner Alliance. Everything in it can only be purchased by practitioners, and ordinary people can't get in at all. Lin Shu logged into his own account, which was handled by the staff when he was verifying his status as a Grand Great Master. Looking at the dazzling array of products in the Practitioner Store, even treasures worth millions or tens of millions of stars, Lin Shu was dazzled for a while. Buy a better copy of Spirit Power Cultivation Technique. He is old, and his spirit power value has declined more than ordinary people, so he must be vigilant at all times and cannot slack off. The Spirit Power Practice Cultivation Technique he is currently practicing is the most popular and relatively basic. Buy a better cultivation technique. The cultivation efficiency will definitely be higher, and it can make up for Lin Shu's current shortcomings. As for the martial skill, Lin Shu thought about it and decided to forget it. Although it can improve strength, Lin Shu knows that he has no talent in this area. And the martial skill itself requires years of hard work, and it cannot be accomplished overnight. If you have time to practice martial skill, it is better to temper your own body. Now that he has refined the skin and muscles into equipment, Lin Shu still needs to think about what to refine next. Lin Shu picked a cultivation technique from Ling Yuan Gong, and spent 200,000 star coins. The price of any cultivation technique martial skill is expensive, some even more expensive than weapons and equipment. Especially the Spirit Power Cultivation Technique, which is the root of improving the practitioner realm. However, the cultivation technique with strong effect is also difficult. Lin Shu knew that he did not have the talent in this area, so the cultivation technique he chose was not very good. After cultivation technique is purchased online, you can browse directly, but face recognition is required. Only the practitioner who purchases this cultivation technique can read the cultivation technique. This is also to prevent the cultivation technique from leaking and affecting profitability. So, Lin Shu practiced in front of the computer. It wasn't until noon that Lin Shu stopped to have lunch. The difficulty is not too great, and the effect of cultivation has indeed improved a lot. The 200,000 star coins are fully worth it. This day, Lin Shu is practicing the new cultivation technique, Ling Yuan Gong. After he is thoroughly familiar with it, the effect of cultivation will be improved to a certain extent. On the other side, Lin Xiaofei didn't go home directly after school, but came to a small forest in the park, where there were no people. Then Lin Xiaofei began to practice a set of weird fist technique. Every move seemed clumsy, but it gave people a wonderful sense of coordination. After practicing for a while, Lin Xiaofei's skin was flushed all over, and there was still heat coming out. The hot air did not disperse, but condensed around Lin Xiaofei's body, forming a translucent white ball. Tisk tisk, as expected of the person who channeled me, talent is not bad, he comprehended this fist technique so quickly. A voice that only Lin Xiaofei could hear sounded. As long as you earnestly follow my teachings from now on, practitioner is just your starting point, and you will hopefully become a world-renowned powerhouse in the future. The voice said again. Lin Xiaofei didn't speak. He was practicing fist technique seriously, but his heart was already strongly shaken. At first, he didn't believe in this ghost, and felt that it was unreliable. But this morning, Grandpa got up so early to participate in the practitioner identity certification, which made Lin Xiaofei a little unbearable. Grandpa is so old, he will definitely not be able to become a practitioner. Only by becoming a practitioner as soon as possible and helping Grandpa fulfill his wish, will Grandpa let go and reduce the pressure. So when he was exercising in the morning, Lin Xiaofei used his psychic ability again, summoning the ghost he had psychic for the first time. After some conversation, they reached an agreement, and Ghost began to assist Lin Xiaofei in his practice. This mysterious fist technique was taught by ghosts. After Lin Xiaofei practiced, he felt extremely miraculous, and the effect of cultivation increased 5 or 6 times. Lin Xiaofei is confident that he will become an official practitioner in a very short period of time. It was almost time for dinner when Lin Xiaofei came home. "Xiaofei, why did you come back a little late today?" Lin Shu asked casually. "Well, after school, I practiced in the park for a while," Lin Xiaofei said. Lin Shu nodded. He could see his grandson Lin Xiaofei's hard work. In today's chaotic and dangerous world, strength is everything. It is very good for Lin Xiaofei to have such an awareness. "Grandpa, Lin Xiaofei was just about to ask his grandfather about the results of the assessment in the morning, but suddenly held back. "I'm so stupid, Grandpa must have failed, and I still ask, isn't it hurting Grandpa's self-esteem?" "What's wrong?" Lin Shu wondered. "I need some money to buy medicinal materials to assist cultivation, about 2,000 star coins." Lin Xiaofei immediately changed the subject. Upon hearing this, Lin Shu gave 5,000 directly. Lin Xiaoshui's eyes widened. Grandpa must be too generous. "Grandpa, I also want to enter the martial Dao class to practice." Lin Xiaoshui stood up and made a solemn announcement. In the past, her family was poor. In order to maintain her life, Lin Xiaoshui had no plans in this regard. She wanted to support her brother in pursuing martial Dao. Now that Grandpa has become a blacksmith, the family is a little richer. Another important point is that as long as you enter the martial Dao class, it will be convenient to ask Grandpa for money in the future, saving a lot of money to buy food and toys. Yes, Lin Shu couldn't help laughing. He will not support Lin Xiaoshui's practice just because she belongs to his daughter's family. This is the practitioner's world, a world where strength is the most important thing. Only with strength can a granddaughter live a better life. "Xiaoshui, if you don't understand anything in the future, you can come and ask your brother." "No, my brother has not been in martial Dao's class for a long time, maybe he will be left behind by me in the future. Then try to catch up with me first." At the dinner table, the family talked and laughed happily. Xiaofei, is your father a practitioner?" At this time, a voice that only Lin Xiaofei could hear sounded. It was a ghost talking. "What?" Lin Xiaofei looked slightly startled, and asked in his heart, "You didn't make a mistake, did you? Your grandfather should have just become a practitioner, and the spirit power is obviously radiating out, so I can perceive it." "Absolutely not wrong, he is a practitioner." It seems that because of being questioned, Ghost said with some dissatisfaction. Lin Xiaofei frowned slightly. He made a big decision today because of his grandpa, to cooperate with this mysterious ghost. In the end, Grandpa actually became a practitioner, and probably passed the assessment, so Owen worried that it was unnecessary. It should be that after Grandpa became a blacksmith, he had certain financial conditions, so he bought some medicine pills that enhance qi and blood spirit power, and barely broke through the practitioner threshold. Lin Xiaofei secretly thought, however, this cannot be maintained for a long time. Grandpa is getting old, and all aspects will decline rapidly, and he will soon become an ordinary person again. This family still needs to stand up and support themselves. After dinner, Lin Shu returned to the room. After practicing, Ling Yuan Gong, for a day, I was a little tired, and the efficiency began to decrease. So Lin Shu began to think about refining weapons. Of course it is not refining weapons, but refining yourself. Before him, there are 2 paths. Rule 1. Refining red gold flame skin or steel bear body. Rule 2. Refining other parts of the body into weapons. After thinking for a while, Lin Shu made a decision. It's better to go hand in hand. After Lin Shu's skin and muscles were refined into weapons, he always felt that other body tissues could not keep up, so he chose the second way, and then began to refine other parts of his body into weapons. Then, let's refine the blood. Blood, stored in the skin and muscles, flows through the whole body. Now, Lin Shu's skin and muscles have been refined into spiritual weapons. In this case, the difficulty of refining blood has been greatly reduced. If Lin Shu was the first to start refining blood, the difficulty would be unimaginable. Even if he was the second to refine it, it would be extremely difficult. Since the blood runs throughout the meridians, very delicate manipulations are required. Refining skin or muscle, if there is a little mistake, it can be saved, or the consequences are not serious. If there is a problem with the refining of blood, it will directly kill the person. Refining blood should be done steadily. First use low-grade materials to refine blood into transcendent equipment, and then upgrade it to spiritual equipment. Lin Shu made a decision and began to deduce the plan of refining blood. Blood is a liquid, completely different from skin and muscle. How to refine a piece of liquid equipment is another problem. I am afraid that all the blacksmiths in Kunyan City will not be able to answer this difficult question, and even think that this question itself is absurd and impossible to realize. But Lin Shu has the god-level refining tool talent, and he believes he can find the answer. Turn on the computer, browse various material illustrations. There are metal ore materials, demonic beasts materials, and medicinal materials. It was late at night, but the light in Lin Shu's room was still on. At this moment, he is completely immersed in the deduction of the refining tool. His brain is running rapidly, and each spark of inspiration emerges, disappears, and emerges again. With the pen in his hand, he kept writing and drawing on the paper. I wrote one after another. Before I knew it, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. Finished. Suddenly, Lin Shu stopped the pen in his hand, and found 5 papers out of the messy papers and arranged them. Transcendent weapon. Burning blood with the blood of the flame dog as the main material, and the blood of 10 other demonic beasts as auxiliary materials, and then adding 3 kinds of metals, 3 kinds of minerals. This is the plan proposed by Lin Shu. Although it is only a transcendent weapon, its complexity is unprecedented. In the eyes of normal people, the refining of weapons must be based on various hard objects. But in this plan, the main material is almost all blood, and metals and minerals have become supporting roles. If this blueprint is taken out, it will definitely set off a huge storm in the forging world. Not only that, Lin Shu also deduced the advanced plan for the next stage of burning blood. As long as burning blood is successfully refined, then the next stage of blood of magma is no problem, and the steps are even simpler, but the materials needed are more precious. After finishing work, Lin Shu immediately turned off the lights and went to sleep. At such an age, the work and rest of life should not be messed up. Go to bed early and get up early to live longer. When I woke up the next day, it was already 9:30. After eating the breakfast left by his grandson Lin Xiaofei, Lin Shu rushed to the blacksmith shop. I slept in a hurry yesterday and forgot to buy materials. Only then did Lin Shu remember, so he placed the order directly with his mobile phone. Under normal circumstances, it takes about 3 hours for the goods to be delivered. If it is slower, it will take longer. Being idle is also idle. Lin Shu found a job given to him by Tianyuofeng and started to work. After all, he signed a contract with Tianyuofeng, and he got through the difficulties by relying on some work provided by Tianyuofeng, so now he still does these things, otherwise it will delay the business of Tianyuofeng. But Lin Shu decided to go to Tianyuofeng sometime and terminate the contract. Take care of this refining job first. It's just refining a transcendent weapon. The customer's requirements are not high, but the materials provided are not bad, and the refining machine Lin Shu can also get energy points. Halfway through refining, the order placed by Lin Shu was delivered, and several staff members brought in one metal box after another. The boxes contain all kinds of blood, which need to be stored in a specific environment. After the items arrived, Lin Shu immediately put down what he was doing and began to refine his blood. The steps of refining the blood are very complicated. You have to blend the blood with various materials. Those who don't know it may think that Lin Shu is dispensing medicine, but it is absolutely impossible to imagine that he is refining a weapon. After preparation, Lin Shu took out a small knife, and cut a cut in his palm with difficulty. Blood seeped out immediately. Then Lin Shu took out a bottle of blood solvent and applied it to the palm of his hand. Call. At the next moment, the purifying holy fire appeared in the palm of the hand, burning the blood solvent, allowing it to fuse with Lin Shu's blood. Lin Shu could feel that a strange fiery energy entered the tendons along the wound, and flowed to the whole body along with the blood. There are various materials in it, as well as the holy fire of purifying spirits. That's right, Lin Shu separated the holy fire of purifying spirits into strands, flowing through the meridians along the material and blood. The first day passed. There were no accidents during the refining process. Lin Shu could feel the changes in his own blood. He felt very warm, his body was full of strength, and his energy and spirit improved a lot. During the blood refining process, Lin Shu couldn't see the changes intuitively, he could only rely on experience. Third day, Lin Shu opened a metal box, and the blood flowing inside was crimson mixed with gold, and when it met the air, the gold in the blood immediately burned. This is the blood of the flame dog, and it is also the main material in this refining plan. In a blink of an eye, 5 days have passed. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully refining transcendent perfect equipment and gaining energy value of 500. The sound of the system suddenly sounded. It's done. Lin Shu showed joy. I don't know how effective burning blood is. Lin Shu felt the hot blood in his body, and suddenly stimulated it. Lin Shu couldn't wait to activate burning blood. Suddenly, he felt that all the blood in his body seemed to be boiling, flowing crazily, and exuding scorching heat. Every inch of Lin Shu's body emitted hot smoke. At this moment, Lin Shu's body surface temperature is very high, and the temperature inside his body is even higher. Fortunately, his muscles and skin are at the level of spiritual weapons and are not affected at all. Although his whole body was hot, Lin Shu felt extremely comfortable and full of strength, especially his muscles and skin. Because the blood is in the body, it cannot be observed intuitively, Lin Shu can only experience it slowly. But so far, Lin Shu has not been able to get a clear answer. What benefits did burning blood bring to him? Hoo! Lin Shu clenched his fist and punched forward, immediately setting off a wave of heat, and even more flames howling. The attack power is stronger, and it also comes with fire damage. Immediately afterwards, Lin Shu activated the steel bear body, and his figure instantly became tall and burly, full of explosive power. Lin Shu punched again, but of course he didn't dare to use his full strength. I am the Grand Great Master now. If I punch with all my strength, the blacksmith shop will be called ruins. Boom! Pong! In the air, there seemed to be a blazing flaming light fist roaring past, and the violent and scorching power rushed out, shattering the floor, leaving a pitch-black scorched pit on the ground. The attack power seems to have increased a lot. Lin Shu was a little surprised, and had some guesses about the ability of burning blood. Red gold burning skin. Lin Shu activated another spiritual weapon. A layer of fiery red metallic color bloomed from his skin, and then all his skin seemed to have turned into metal that had been forged at high temperature. On the crimson metal skin, there is also a mysterious flame texture, constantly flashing flames. Boom! The moment red gold flame skin was fully activated, it was as if a can of gasoline was suddenly poured into a fire, and there was a roaring explosion in Lin Shu's body. Immediately afterwards, Lin Shu's body surface was seen to erupt in flames, rushing straight to the roof several meters high, and then spreading in all directions. Red gold flame skin itself has the ability to release flames, and at this moment it cooperates with burning blood to produce astonishing changes. In an instant, raging flames filled the entire blacksmith shop. Standing in a sea of flames, Lin Shu was covered in flames, as if the god of fire descended into the world, and the flames shook all directions. It's over, my shop. Lin Shu couldn't help exclaiming. He just wanted to see the effect of burning blood, but he didn't expect it to turn out like this. The entire blacksmith shop was on fire, and he had no ability to control the fire, so he could only extinguish the fire quickly. But it was too late to put out the fire. The flames were too violent and fast, and soon enveloped the entire blacksmith shop. The fire here quickly alarmed other people nearby. Fire! Fire! Quickly put out the fire! Everyone exclaimed for a while, and hurried over to help. If the fire spreads, their shop will also suffer. Lin Shu came to a fire hydrant on the side of the road, found the right angle, and punched a hole. Immediately, water gushed out and sprayed towards the blacksmith shop, suppressing the fire. After a while, people from the fire brigade rushed over and took care of everything. Lin Shu also prevaricated on the grounds that the smelter accidentally set fire to the smithy, and paid a fine at the same time. Due to the fast firefighting, there was no other damage except that the house was completely burned, otherwise Lin Shu would have to accompany someone else's house because he rented the shop. However, after experiencing this incident, Lin Shu made up his mind to find a place dedicated to tempering his body. When he tempered that steel bear body before, he wanted to experience it, but he didn't dare to use it with all his strength. This time, burning blood was tempered, and this was done by accident. In the future, this kind of thing will happen frequently, and even the noise will become more and more loud, which is obviously inappropriate in the blacksmith shop. He needs a secret place dedicated to tempering his body. Lin Shu made a phone call and asked someone to clean and repair it, and then he went back first. There was a lot of commotion, but fortunately, I have fully figured out the effect of the burning blood. Burning blood is equivalent to a rage skill, which can increase Lin Shu's attack and speed. Steel bare flesh body and red gold flame skin are not only spiritual equipment, but also part of Lin Shu's body, so they will also be significantly increased. Especially the fire attribute, red gold flame skin, activated simultaneously with burning blood, will produce an effect of 1 + 1 greater than 2. To know, it was because Lin Shu didn't fully activate red gold flame skin and burning blood that there was such a big commotion and fierce flames just now. If he really wanted to attack with all his strength, the fire must not be extinguished so quickly, and the entire block would suffer accordingly. Now that I have burning blood, my battle strength should have increased a lot. Lin Shu laughed. And burning blood is just the first step. Lin Shu had already conceived the next refining plan. He is very much looking forward to what terrifying effect it will have when burning blood is refined to the level of a spiritual weapon. At the same time, Tianyuofeng. In fact, yesterday, Lin Shu took advantage of the spare time in tempering his blood to finish all the tasks assigned to him by Tianyuofeng. Including the task of refining transcendent weapons, Lin Shu was lucky enough to refine a perfect transcendent weapon and obtained 500 energy points. That night, Lin Shu asked someone to take him there. And until noon today, the box containing the weapon refined by Lin Shu was only opened by an appraiser. This weapon. The appraiser's spirit was not very good, maybe he hadn't had a good rest, but when he saw the weapon in the box, his eyes lit up. He immediately took out relevant instruments for testing. This ultra-high purity, this complex material that perfectly fits. Could it be another transcendent perfect weapon? This ultra-high purity, this complex material that perfectly fits. Could it be another transcendent perfect weapon? The mentally ill appraiser became excited instantly, as if the weapon in his hand was a stunning beauty, and he couldn't put it down. His face was very close, carefully observing every detail of this weapon. I don't think you've woken up yet. The transcendent perfect weapon is not a high-end product. How could it appear so easily? Yes, this year in our Tianhua workshop, a transcendent perfect weapon appeared. Unfortunately, it is still unclear who forged this weapon. He didn't come back last night. It seems that he is overworked and his old eyes are dim, The appraiser next to him was discussing. If it is normal, the appraiser will definitely refute and fight with his colleagues. But now, his attention was attracted by this weapon, and he couldn't look away at all. After observing for another 10 seconds, when he was sure that this was a transcendent perfect weapon, he stood up abruptly and shouted, "You are the ones who are overworked, and you are the ones who are blind. Open your eyes wide, take a good look at this weapon, and see if I am old and dim." He raised the sword aloft. The appraisers of Tianyuofeng are all experienced. When they observed this saber for a second or two, they immediately felt that this saber was extraordinary. "Show me." Elder Song stared. Last time, the transcendent perfect weapon sent by Lin Shu was the first to be appraised by him. After taking over the saber, Mr. Song picked up the instrument for observation and inspection. "How's it going, Mr. Song? What is the quality of this weapon?" The other appraisers put down their work, leaned over and asked in a low voice. Elder Song's qualifications are relatively high, and he has a record of no mistakes in appraisals for 10 years. After 2 full minutes, Song Lao put down the instrument in his hand, gently put the saber in the box, took a deep breath and said, "It is indeed of transcendent perfect quality. I'm going. Another transcendent weapon of perfect quality. Amazing. Which master did this weapon come from? Our luck in Tianyuofeng is really good. We got 2 transcendent weapons of perfect quality in a row within a month. If we use this to promote another wave, the reputation of our Tianyuofeng will completely overwhelm Tianbinj and Sword Hall." There was a heated discussion in the appraisal room, and someone immediately dialed the phone to inform the senior management of the matter. Soon, several people entered the identification room. There is a veteran blacksmith, a gold medal appraiser, and a senior executive of Tianyuofeng named Chen Weian. A transcendent perfect weapon has appeared again. Chen Weian looked delighted. The last wave of promotion of Transcendence Perfect Weapon has subsequently increased the turnover of Tianyuofeng by several %. Which master did this weapon come from? Chen Weian asked. Blacksmiths who can forge weapons of perfect quality must be taken care of by Tianyuofeng. There was a sudden silence in the identification room. There is no name engraved on the weapon, and there is no personal logo, so I don't know who forged it. But there should be a registration at the front desk, just call and ask. Elder Song said. As soon as he finished speaking, he was taken aback for a moment. How could this scene feel familiar? He remembered. This is also the case with the Transcendent Perfect Weapon, no name, not long ago. Later, Tianyuofeng observed Lin Shu for a long time, and even sent people to sneak into Lin Shu's blacksmith shop, and finally came to the conclusion that Lin Shu was not a master blacksmith, but just an ordinary blacksmith. The namelessness is probably a lucky accident of Lin Shu. After that, Tianyuofeng stopped paying attention to Lin Shu. Hey, look it up, who signed the weapon numbered 95,277. An appraiser communicates with front desk staff. Okay, let me check, the signature is Lin Shu. What, you say it again? The appraiser was shocked when he heard the name. The staff member thought that he had made a mistake, so he was frightened and searched carefully several times, and said anxiously, Master Appraiser, the signature of number 95,277 is indeed Lin Shu. The conversation between the two was clearly heard by everyone in the appraisal room, and the scene fell into silence for an instant. How could it be Lin Shu? The same doubt emerged in everyone's mind. Isn't Lin Shu an ordinary old blacksmith? That's right, before we sent people into his blacksmith shop, we didn't find a finished transcendent weapon in it, not even a semi-finished one. Moreover, the forging equipment inside was extremely crude and rough, and we wanted to forge a sophisticated weapon with those equipment. Weapons, the possibility is very slim. Besides, Lin Shu is already 100 years old, and his body cannot support him to complete a transcendent weapon. Could it be that this weapon was also obtained by Lin Shu by accident? An appraiser questioned. Everyone at the scene looked over at once, as if they were looking at a fool. Do you think Transcendence Perfect Weapon is Chinese cabbage? Can you get me one to try? Getting one by accident might be luck, but getting the second one in such a short period of time is definitely not luck. Lin Shu is very likely to be a top blacksmith. This perfect weapon, as well as Wuming, are all made by Lin Shu. Looks like last time, we were all fooled by Master Lin Shu. Chen Weian sighed. He originally thought that he had already investigated the truth, but he found out that he was on the second floor and Lin Shu was on the fifth floor. The hiding place was really deep. Director Chen, such a talented blacksmith must be brought into the headquarters of Tianyuofeng. That's right, if Tianbinge and Sword Hall know about Lin Shu and poach him away, then our Tianyuofeng will make a big joke. Although Lin Shu's blacksmith shop accidentally caught fire, it is not a loss to see the effect of burning blood. Since he got off work early and it was still early, Lin Shu walked back slowly. On the road, Lin Shu searched the internet for the materials needed to refine magma blood. When deducing the scheme and blueprint of burning blood, Lin Shu incidentally deduced the blueprint scheme of blood of magma. Relatively speaking, refining blood into burning blood is more complicated, with higher operational requirements and greater risks. However, the difficulty of refining magma blood is lower than the former. However, the materials needed are more precious and may cost a lot of star coins. Lin Shu memorized the blueprints of the scheme, and searched for materials on the internet in one-to-one correspondence. He found most of the materials quickly, but there were two main materials that even the practitioner store didn't have. The two main materials are lava beast's horn and red berries. The lava beast is the top existence among the third-order demonic beasts. Its strength is terrifying and its danger level is higher than that of the iron bear, but it does not have the great reputation of the iron bear, mainly because it is too rare. Lava beasts mostly live underground near magma, or near volcanoes on the ground. There is also the red berry, which is also rare, and it is a spiritual fruit born from absorbing a large amount of flame essence. Once picked off, the flame essence inside will quickly disappear, and within 3 days it will become an ordinary first-rank spiritual fruit. Due to the difficulty of preservation and the excellent efficacy, every time it appears on the market, it will be snatched away immediately. Lin Shu wants red berries, unless he has been staring at the online shopping mall. I thought that although the materials needed to refine magma blood are precious, as long as you have money, you can get them. But these two things, you can't get them if you have money. As a result, Lin Shu could only shelve the plan of refining the blood for the time being. The point is, I don't know how long it will take to get the materials together. Also, according to Lin Shu's previous deduction, if magma blood is refined near the volcano, the quality will be higher. But there is no volcano in Kunyan City. Moreover, after the cataclysm, some special areas also changed, and volcanoes became synonymous with danger. So under normal circumstances, there is absolutely no city built near the volcano. Next, Lin Shu didn't think about the refining thing anymore. In addition to the rapid improvement of strength by refining weapons, the current practice of Lingyuan Gong can also be used. And practical skills. Although Lin Shu passed the certification and became a Grand Great Master, he knew that there was a big gap between his own strength and the real Grand Great Master. In addition to the reason why he doesn't practice martial skill, it mainly has actual combat experience. Every Grand Great Master has fought bloody battles from the brink of life and death, from the siege of ferocious beasts. Compared with them, Lin Shu is really a flower in the greenhouse. Think here. Lin Shu suddenly had a bold idea. Go out of the city and kill the beast. In the past, Lin Shu always wanted to be a practitioner, not just for showing off and enjoying, he wanted to save his life, kill demonic beasts, and fight for the human race. He has seen too many life and death. His own friends died one by one, and the woman he once had a crush on was also killed by fierce beasts. Lin Shu understands that if the beast cannot be completely suppressed, more tragedies will happen, and even the human race may be ruled by the beast. So he doesn't dislike taking risks at all, and even wanted to take risks when he was young, but his strength limited him. Also, when he ventures out of the city, he will be able to practice combat with fierce beasts, sharpen his skills, improve his combat experience, and enhance his strength. You can also look for lava beasts and red berries by the way. Kill two birds with one stone. Hehe, as a Grand Great Master, he hasn't killed demonic beasts, it's not worthy of the name. Lin Shu doesn't want to be despised, said to be a flower in a greenhouse. So he decided to go out of town. Think about it. Lin Shu went home immediately and tidied up briefly. Then, he called Lin Xiaofei. Hey, Xiaofei, Grandpa is going out on business and may not be back in a short time. You have to take good care of little sister at home. I've already given you 50,000 star coins, don't spend them randomly. Don't worry, Grandpa is fine, just take care of yourself. Not much to say, hang up. Then, Lin Shu called Lin Xiaoshui again and told her some things. During the phone call, Lin Xiaofei and Lin Xiaoshui were very concerned about Lin Shu, and even asked several times what Lin Shu was doing. But Lin Shu didn't say anything. Tell the truth, they will definitely not agree, they will try their best to stop me, and they will worry about me day and night. Lin Shu has seen many such situations, and it is a torment for those who wait and worry. Everything is ready, let's go. After walking a certain distance, Lin Shu came to a somewhat special platform. There is only one bus that stops here, which is dedicated to practitioners who go out of the city to hunt beasts, and there is no charge. After waiting for 2 hours, the bus arrived, and there were already 7 or 8 people in it. As soon as Lin Shu got into the car, he attracted everyone's attention. Old man, did you get on the wrong bus? This bus is bound for the outside of the city. That's the territory of ferocious beasts, and it's very dangerous. A kind practitioner couldn't help reminding. Yes, old man, get out of the car quickly. It's such an old age, why don't you go out of the city and take care of yourself for the elderly? Others also talked to each other. Although some people spoke very rudely, they were all worried about Lin Shu, an old man. I didn't get on the wrong bus, I just went outside the city. Lin Shu explained with a smile. Seeing this, these people didn't say much. We all met by chance, and out of kindness, I would naturally not waste my words. Looking at the old man's appearance, he should not be insane, but has a certain confidence. He may be a practitioner. It's rare to see a practitioner at such an age. Behind, there are 2 intermediate practitioners communicating in low voices. Practitioner is not like other professions. It doesn't mean that the older you are, the more experienced you will be. On the contrary, the older you are, the worse your body will be. It will only make you weaker. At his age, he is definitely the weakest group among junior practitioners. And he went out of the city alone, really looking for death. Even the young and vigorous practitioners are fully armed and wear battle armor, and they all go out of the city in teams to increase their survival rate. The fierce beasts in the wild will not jump out one by one to fight you alone. If you are unlucky and meet a group, you will not have time to cry. On the other hand, Lin Shu, not to mention an old man, is still dressed in casual clothes. In the eyes of everyone in the car, if Lin Shu didn't get out of the car halfway, he would die. Not long after Lin Shu got into the car, a group of people came to his blacksmith shop. Look at the badges on them, it's practitioner, and martial master, those guys have martial master belts around their waists. What are so many practitioner martial masters doing here? They seem to be from Tianyuofeng. I know that person. He is Chen Weian from Tianyuofeng. He is a top martial master and a blacksmith. The nearby crowd gathered around and talked a lot. After Tianyuofeng got the second perfect transcendent weapon, how could it be indifferent? They immediately came to throw an olive branch to Lin Shu. In order to be realistic and sincere, the supervisor Chen Weian personally brought people over to visit, and it was inevitable that he would invite Lin Shu to the headquarters of Tianyuofeng. Lin Shu was able to refine two perfect transcendent weapons in such a short period of time. Even if he was lucky, it would not be so good. This can only show that Lin Shu's forging skills are very skilled. This also means that it is possible for Lin Shu to forge a perfect transcendent weapon in the future, unlike other blacksmiths who rely entirely on luck and may not be able to succeed in a few years. It should be here, right? Chen Weian, the supervisor of Tianyuofeng, looked at the burnt black dilapidated blacksmith shop, and was slightly taken aback. He had heard reports before that Lin Shu's blacksmith shop was very dilapidated, so he had some mental preparations, but this was too exaggerated, right? Director Chen, I'm afraid it's not that simple. A martial master whispered. Chen Weian's expression became concentrated, and he immediately noticed something was wrong. Traces of the fire, and it happened not long ago. His face immediately darkened. Master Lin Shu's blacksmith shop, why did the fire break out? Director, could it be Tianbinge or Sword Hall? The martial master guessed. As the three major forging forces in Kunyan City, they compete fiercely with each other, and occasionally use some indiscriminate methods. If Tianbinge and Sword Hall learn that Wuming was refined by Lin Shu, they will definitely want to poach Lin Shu away. Once Lin Shu refuses, they may kill them, which is an effective way to curb the development of Tianyuofeng. Didn't they tell you not to disclose any information? How did they know that Wuming was refined by Master Lin Shu? Chen Weian looked a little angry. It would be a pity if such a blacksmith master was originally working under Tianyuofeng. At the beginning, we observed Master Lin Shu for a period of time and felt that he could not be a master blacksmith. Later, we didn't pay much attention to this matter, and the work of blocking the news was lax. The martial master quickly explained. At this time, a younger brother ran over and said, Director Chen, I have found out. A few hours ago, a serious fire broke out in Master Lin Shu's blacksmith shop, and Lin Shu left after that. Master Lin Shu is not dead. A blacksmith heaved a sigh of relief. He really wanted to make friends with Master Lin Shu and improve his own forging skills. After Chen Weian pondered for a few seconds, he said, he's not dead, and the situation is not much better. The other two forces may have wanted to cause an accidental death, but Master Lin Shu survived by luck. If Tianbinge and Sword Hall know that Master Lin Shu is not dead, they will definitely kill him again. Let's go to his house immediately. A group of people got into the car, and the speed of the car went straight up, rushing to Lin Shu's house. They'll be there in half an hour. There's no one in there. Chen Weian frowned. As a top martial master, if there is a living person in the room, he can directly sense it. Wait, maybe Master Lin Shu hasn't come back yet. This waited until late at night. Both of Lin Shu's grandsons came back, but neither did he. Director Chen, we got Master Lin Shu's phone number, but we can't get through. A practitioner said. There are various indications that Master Lin Shu may have died in the hands of Tianbinge and Sword Hall. Everyone in the room looked unhappy. some regretted and others were sad, and some directly scolded Tianbing and Sword Hall for not poaching Master Lin Shu, but for using such a vicious method. If we had been earlier, we would have been able to protect Master Lin Shu. Chen Weian had a look of regret. Director, do you want to tell his two grandsons? The practitioner asked Chen Weian for instructions. Out of town, in the passenger car, someone suddenly shouted. Just now there were many practitioners who closed their eyes and meditated. At this moment, they all opened their eyes and their expressions changed. Some were extremely dignified, some showed killing intent, and some were nervous. Lin Shu looked out the window, watching the vehicle slowly passing the towering and heavy city wall, with a look of anticipation on his face. He used to be a logistician in the army all his life. He didn't have the chance to go to the battlefield, and he would die if he did. And now, Lin Shu is about to fight the fierce beast, which makes his blood boil. The car stopped. All the practitioners got out of the car. There were more than 20 people in total. They didn't stop for a moment, and they all moved quickly. Lin Shu first took out his phone and looked at it. In the era of cataclysm, spiritual qi revived, the Earth's magnetic field also changed, and many mysterious elements appeared in the air, which even caused the global communication to be paralyzed for a time. Later, people gradually established a new communication system, but only in the city. Even if those base station equipment are built outside the city, they will be destroyed by ferocious beasts in a short time, which is a waste of money. So after leaving the city, the mobile phone is useless, and you can't call for help if you are in danger. There's really no signal. Lin Shu turned off the phone and put it in his pocket. At this time, a middle-aged man in a black battle armor approached Lin Shu a few steps. This person is full of vigor and blood, and his gestures give people an invisible sense of oppression. His strength is top-notch among the whole group of people. Old man, it's very rare that you can maintain the level of a practitioner at your age, but with your strength, you can't deal with the situation outside the city. If you just want to go out of the city to see it, I suggest you go to the hunting camp. It's relatively safe nearby. Just go back after wandering around. It's enough to live at home at such an old age. The middle-aged man gave advice to Lin Shu, and then his figure turned into a black lightning bolt and left at an astonishing speed. A hunting camp, what is it? Lin Shu found that he left in a bit too hasty and was not prepared enough. But it's not a big problem. He shot with all his strength, but he was able to explode the combat power of a Grand Great Master, plus he possessed red gold flame skin. His defense power was amazing. Among the human Grand Great Masters, I am afraid that no one can compare with Lin Shu's defense. Whoosh! Lin Shu stepped on his right foot, and his whole body rushed out like an arrow from the string. The surrounding area of Kunyan City is still relatively safe, and the army sweeps it every once in a while. After driving for a long time, Lin Shu encountered the first beast in a jungle. It was a black wild boar, which was 2 meters high. The wild boar and beast also spotted Lin Shu, and their eyes suddenly glowed a bloodthirsty red light. Rumble! The ferocious wild boar rushed forward, like a heavy hummer, extremely fierce. The hair on its body was like black needles, and there were still dried blood stains on its huge fangs. It had a ferocious appearance, and its mouth continued to let out terrifying roars. If it was the first time for young people out of the city to encounter a fierce beast, they would be somewhat frightened, or they would make a major mistake and die. But when did Lin Shu come from? His face was extremely calm. Mad Fang Pig, a first-order early-stage beast. Lin Shu is familiar with this relatively common beast, and can judge its strength based on its characteristics. It feels much more ferocious than the first-order early-stage practitioner. Lin Shu said lightly. After a little thought, it becomes clear that the junior practitioner is a human body after all. As long as he is hit by a mad-toothed pig, he will definitely die tragically on the spot. Human beings should take advantage of their own, flexibly dodge the attacks of the mad-toothed pigs, and find the right opportunity to attack the vital points. But there is no need for Lin Shu to hide. Rhapsody Pig approached quickly, and when he was about to knock Lin Shu into the air, he stretched out his arm. Pong! Ragetooth's fangs collided with Lin Shu's palm, but it seemed as if he had hit a wall of iron and steel, and his huge body stopped in place, making it difficult to move forward. At this moment, Lin Shu didn't activate red gold flame skin, but the fangs of the Madbog couldn't hurt him a single bit. He didn't activate Steel Bear Flesh Body, but he was able to block the attack of Rabid Fang Pig with one hand. This is like a spiritual weapon. Even if it is not injected with power to exert its power, this spiritual weapon itself has a certain lethality. This is the reason for Lin Shu's skin and muscles. Lin Shu reckoned that if he didn't activate Red Gold Flame Skin and Steel Bear Body, even a first-tier high-level beast would still be able to crush it. His body is too scary. Roar! Raging Pig let out a growl, and was about to open its mouth to bite Lin Shu's hand. The ferocious beasts of the First Order early stage seem to have no brains, and only know how to kill and eat. Go to hell, beast! Lin Shu's face turned cold. He grabbed the tusks of Rampfang Pig and swung it violently. Boom! The mad-toothed pig, weighing more than 400 kilograms, flew directly 30 to 40 meters away, smashed to the ground, splashed mud, and fell to death on the spot. Although it was the first time to hunt ferocious beasts, Lin Shu came from that era and hated ferocious beasts much stronger than young people, so he killed them cleanly and without mercy. Lin Shu moved on. Tier 1 beasts are too weak, they can be killed instantly, and the materials on Tier 1 beasts are also of low value. I need a stronger opponent. Lin Shu speeded up and headed towards the depths of the wilderness. Lin Shu moved forward quickly, and all the beasts he encountered along the way were instantly killed by him with one or two moves. Readily. Lin Shu had always wanted to be a practitioner, to kill fierce beasts, but he never had the chance, so he could only run away when he saw fierce beasts. But today, after he left the city, he had already killed more than a dozen beasts. But the refreshingness was only at the beginning, and Lin Shu gradually became bored. The fierce beasts he encountered were almost all at the first level, and he had no chance to show his true strength. This feeling is like a college student abusing the third grade of elementary school. Lin Shu hopes to compete with fierce beasts of the same level, so as to sharpen his own fighting skills and experience. Certainly, Lin Shu did not forget the other purpose of his trip, to find lava beasts and red berries, which are necessary for refining magma blood. Suddenly, Lin Shu stopped. He felt like he was being watched by something. Hoo-hoo! Gusts of wind blowing like icy knives, chilling and chilling. Lin Shu noticed something, and looked at a lush grass. Weeds that grew 2 or 3 meters high were swaying, and a pair of blood-eating vertical pupils faintly appeared inside. The ferocious beast is here, and it seems to be stronger than the ferocious beasts encountered before. This is Lin Shu's intuition. Whoosh! A wild black shadow flew out from the grass, attacking Lin Shu at an astonishing speed. Its sharp black claws pierced Lin Shu's face. This speed is the fastest among the beasts Lin Shu has encountered so far. Lin Shu estimated that even if he broke out with all his strength, it would probably be at this speed. After all, his body is very old, and his spirit power value is only at the level of a junior practitioner. Red Gold Flame Skin does not improve speed at all, and Steel Bear Muscle mainly improves strength, but only a little bit of speed. The instant kills along the way did not make Lin Shu inflated. He activated Red Gold Flame Skin slightly, the skin turned into red metal, and the scorching heat spread out. Pong! The pitch-black steel claw collided with the red palm, producing a loud metal explosion sound. Lin Shu remained motionless, while the pitch-black figure flew upside down and returned to the grass. This time he saw clearly that it was a giant wolf with a strong body and long black hair, which seemed to be fluttering in the wind. Black Wind Wolf. Lin Shu recognized it. The Black Wind Wolf is a speed-type beast, good at sneak attacks, and a born assassin. Many adventurers are often attacked by this kind of demonic beasts when they are taking a nap or camping in the wilderness. If there is a little divine partition, their heads will explode and they will die tragically on the spot. I remember that the Black Wind Wolf never acts alone. Lin Shu thought of something again, and suddenly felt a chill down his spine. I saw 2 dark and wild shadows attacking his back at an astonishing speed, but the sound was very small, blending with the sound of the wind. Kai Peng. The sharp claws of the 2 Black Wind Wolves landed on Lin Shu's back, and sparks flew all over the place, making a sharp and ear-piercing sound, as if they wanted to pierce the eardrums. It turned out that there were 3 Haifeng wolves. The one attacking from the front was the second order early stage, and the 2 attacking from behind were the first order late stage. Lin Shu resisted the sneak attack of the 2 Black Wind Wolves. Because of the defense of Red Gold Flame Skin on his back, only a few shallow white marks were left, and he did not suffer any real damage. But if it was someone else, even a martial master, facing this situation, he would be seriously injured or die in an instant. This is outside the city, extremely dangerous and perilous, practitioners fall every day. But it is also in such an environment that one can hone superb fighting skills and hone a more powerful practitioner. Die. Lin Shu frowned, and activated the steel bare body. The muscles all over his body became as hard as iron. He turned around and hit one of the black wind wolves. Pong! With a single palm hit, the terrifying power smashed all the bones in the black wind wolf's body, and the limp body suddenly fell backwards, killing him instantly. Immediately afterwards, Lin Shu slapped the second black wind wolf that sneaked up on him. The black wind wolf immediately realized the danger and wanted to avoid it. Lin Shu further activated red gold flame skin, and the flame texture on the skin erupted with fire. The fiery storm of flames burst out from the fist he swung, sweeping up the first order late-stage black wind wolf, flying to a height of more than 10 meters. Pong! A scorched black corpse fell heavily on the ground, so dead that it couldn't die anymore. The last one left. Lin Shu looked at the second order black wind wolf. Whoosh! The black wind wolf turned around and turned into a gust of black shadow, submerged in the grass, and fled at an astonishing speed. Escaped. Lin Shu was taken aback for a moment, and immediately chased after him. The first order ferocious beasts I encountered before were all mentally retarded, only knowing killing and eating. But the second order ferocious beast already has a certain level of intelligence. This black wind wolf is one who knows how to hide and sneak attack, and sees that the human being in front of him is very dangerous, so he chooses to run away. Since you have attacked me, I won't let you go easily. Lin Shu said. After chasing for a while, he was a little embarrassed. In terms of strength, Lin Shu can unleash a great grandmaster-like combat power. But speed is his shortcoming. This second-order black wind wolf, which is good at speed, ran away with all its strength, and Lin Shu would not be able to catch up for a while. After a little while, Lin Shu suddenly felt that the weather had changed, the wind was blowing everywhere, and an inexplicable sense of oppression shrouded all directions. The ground also seemed to be trembling, and there were bursts of rumbles in the distance, getting louder and louder from far to near. Ahead, what happened? Run away. We just killed one ferocious beast, how could we attract so many ferocious beasts? What kind of luck is this? I haven't been out of the city for a day, and I didn't earn much star coins, but I met a herd of beasts. In the wilderness, several senior practitioners panicked and fled quickly. Not far behind them, there was a billowing dust wave, within which were dozens of huge figures running wildly, all of which were iron demon cows, both first and second tier. Each iron demon bull is huge in size, its whole body is like steel, trampling and smashing everything along its way. Especially the two horns of the iron demon ox are extremely huge, exuding a strong deterrent effect. Perhaps it was because the horns were too heavy that the speed of the iron demon herd was not considered fast. It's over, these iron demon cows are chasing after you. A broad-faced man said anxiously. At present, the herd of beasts is still some distance away from them, but they don't have the physical strength of fierce beasts, and their speed is still supported by spirit power. Once their physical strength is exhausted, or their spirit power is exhausted, their speed will drop sharply, and then they can only be slaughtered by the iron demon herd. The only hope is that if you can meet other practitioners and grow your team, you might be able to fight the herd and save your life. There is someone in front. One of the three said, dressed like a woman, and the other two looked over excitedly. Looks like a martial master. The broad-faced man said. What's going on? A few kilometers away, a middle-aged man in black armor said slowly. It's Chong Hao Sr., Chong Hao Sr., save us. The iron demon herd, chase us and won't let go. The three of them recognized Heijia's identity as a middle-aged man and hurriedly shouted. Chong Hao has a great reputation in Kunyan City. He is often active outside the city and is a famous hunter. Countless beasts died in his hands. If Chong Hao is willing to help, they have hope. Chong Hao frowned slightly as he watched the herd approach. Even if he wandered around outside the city all the year round, he usually avoided the herds of beasts and would not confront them. But right now there are people being chased and killed by fierce beasts, and he wants to try to save them. Whoosh! Chong Hao rushed towards the three members of the team like a bolt of lightning, and soon passed them by, rushing towards the herd of beasts running wildly behind. At this scene, the three members of the team were dumbfounded. It's so handsome. As expected of Chong Hao Sr., we are saved. Let's face the enemy with Chong Hao Sr. and kill all these beasts. The three members of the team were also full of anger, and now they wanted to follow Chong Hao and launch a counterattack against the herd. The moment Chong Hao approached the herd of beasts, he pulled out a golden saber and swung it down. Kai Peng, a golden sword light bloomed in midair, with a rainbow-like momentum and unparalleled sharpness. It chopped down on the head of an iron demon bull. The iron demon ox with strong defense had its head split open, collapsed to the ground, and was crushed into beef paste by the iron demon bull behind it. After Chong Hao succeeded in one blow, he quickly backed away. As an intermediate martial master, he didn't dare to challenge the iron demon herd, but relied on his own speed advantage to roam and attack, weakening the herd. 10 seconds. Chong Hao killed 3 iron demon bulls while he was in the middle of the circle. With such rich combat experience, the 3 members of the team who watched were dumbfounded and admired endlessly. What are you doing back here? Run away. Chong Hao gave a loud shout. He wanted to drag out the herd of beasts and buy time for these people to escape. He never thought of destroying the herd of beasts at all, at least with their strength, it was absolutely impossible. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, there was a burst of rumbling sound from behind the herd, and a huge iron demon bull 4 or 5 meters high stepped out, leaving a footprint several inches deep on the ground with a murderous killing intent. Even a heavy tank is much shorter in front of this iron demon bull. Not good. The giant iron demon cow of the second late stage. Chong Hao's expression changed suddenly. The beast of the second late stage corresponds to a high-level martial master, and he is only an intermediate martial master. The faces of the 3 members of the team also turned pale, and the hairs on their bodies stood on end, and they immediately broke out and ran away at the fastest speed. At this moment, they regretted leaving the city. Less than a day out of the city, they encountered a herd of ferocious beasts, including a second-order late-stage giant iron demon ox. The 3 of them are all senior practitioners. Together, the 3 of them can't withstand the blow of the giant iron demon bull, and they will be smashed to pieces in an instant. At the same time, they still regretted that they should have run away instead of stopping just now. Kai Peng. Chong Hao launched an attack again, and a golden saber light like a rainbow fell on the head of the giant iron demon bull, leaving only a shallow mark. He didn't even cut the hide of the giant iron demon cow. Seeing this, Chong Hao could only run away. I'm really sorry for dragging down Chong Hao Sr. While escaping, the broad-faced man said guiltily. This is my own choice. Chong Hao said, if he could save these people, he would not refuse to save them. And now there is nothing he can do, so he will also abandon the 3 and run away alone. At this time, Chong Hao found a person several kilometers ahead. Run, run away. Chong Hao pumped up his spirit power and let out a loud shout, forming a wave of sound that spread out and resounded in all directions. But he found that the man didn't run away, he was still coming this way, he was still running. Chong Hao was shocked. There must be something wrong with this person, why did he seek his own death? Soon, Chong Hao saw who was coming. It's the old man. When Chong Hao went out to hunt fierce beasts in the city today, he met an old man who was older than his grandfather, probably 100 years old. When getting out of the car, Chong Hao also gave the old man a piece of advice, telling him to go around the hunting camp before returning, not to take too many risks. Chong Hao originally thought that own words could save this old man. Didn't expect to meet him here. He's dead. Chong Hao sighed. With this old man's body and bones, even if he tried his best to escape now, he would definitely not be able to escape. It was difficult for him to escape safely, so he couldn't take other people into consideration. But at this moment, Chong Hao saw that the uncle slowed down, and then said to them, "Young man, do you need help?" Chapter 31. Young man, do you need help? Looking at the 4 people running away in a panic, Lin Shu smiled. He can also be regarded as a veteran, seeing the human race being chased and killed by fierce beasts, naturally he would not just watch the human race compatriots die. Moreover, these people looked familiar, as if they had left the city on the same train as me. Secondly, Lin Shu is also a little interested in the Iron Demon Bull herd. Since leaving the city, he has killed more than a dozen beasts, all of which were easily crushed, which is really meaningless. It was the first time he encountered a herd of beasts. The herd of iron demon bulls looked quite challenging, and Lin Shu wanted to give it a try. After hearing Lin Shu's words, Chong Hao and the other 3 practitioners were stunned and didn't know what to say. Is this old man stupid? Still blind? Didn't you see the ferocious beast herd behind you? This is a herd of ferocious beasts. Even a powerful hunter like Chong Hao Sr. had no choice but to run away. As a result, this thin and weak old man approached on his own initiative. Also ask them if they need help. What is this operation? Naturally they need it, but the key is what can you do to help? I'm afraid that the gust of wind blown by the herd of iron demonic bulls can knock you down all the time. Chong Hao and the 3-person team did not answer Lin Shu's words, and continued to run away desperately. They couldn't take care of themselves, and they couldn't help the old man. Besides, the old man came here to die by himself. Why? Chong Hao quickly passed by Lin Shu, looked back at Lin Shu's back, and sighed for the poor old man. However, with just this glance, Chong Hao saw an incredible scene. I saw that the old man, who was originally thin, even a little rickety, suddenly swelled and became tall and tall. Every muscle in his body seemed to be cast from steel, full of explosive power. The old man has completely changed, an incomparably fierce aura spread out from his body. The iron demon bull herd was stunned by this momentum and stopped for a moment, and then continued to crush Lin Shu. What's going on with this old man? Chong Hao couldn't help exclaiming. At that moment just now, he sensed an astonishing aura exuding from Lin Shu, not like a junior practitioner at all. I made a mistake in my judgment. This old man is probably a hidden master. But even so, Chong Hao also didn't think that Lin Shu could stop the iron demon bull herd. The number of iron demon cows is too large, and the leader is a second-order late stage, which is very close to a third-order terrifying existence. And Lin Shu is only one person. Also, ferocious beasts are rough-skinned and thick-skinned guys with strong defenses, so practitioners will buy a sharp weapon when they go out to hunt ferocious beasts. Among them, the iron demon ox's defense is even more outstanding. I hit the giant iron demon bull's head with all my strength just now, and it didn't even break the beast's skin. And Lin Shu, dressed in civilian clothes and without any weapons in his hands, how can he deal with the enemy like this? Still almost a doomsday round. The giant iron demon bull was like a moving hill, pushing across, crushing everything, and hitting Lin Shu. Lin Shu clenched his fists and blasted out. At this moment, he has fully activated steel bare flesh body, and red gold flame skin has also been activated halfway. His fists were like crimson metal, wrapped in flames, and smashed on the head of the giant iron demon bull. Boom! A shocking explosion sounded like thunder on a sunny day. The soil around Lin Shu and the giant iron demon bull exploded, flying more than 10 meters high, and the dust flew all over the sky, drowning everything. This astonishing sight, as if a large number of explosives detonated. During the explosion, the body of the giant iron demon bull retreated wildly, rolling several times on the ground before stopping. But Lin Shu only took a few small steps back. He looked at the head of the giant iron demon bull, and a pit was punched out by himself, and blood flowed out. Good guy, resist my blow and survive. Lin Shu smiled. This was the first time he had encountered a beast that he hadn't killed in a single blow, and he was finally able to show some skills and have a good time. And this scene, because it was completely submerged by the dust of the explosion, Chong Hao did not see it. Even Chong Hao couldn't even see the other iron demon bulls clearly because of the dust wave. Chong Hao only knew that Lin Shu was in danger and his life was at stake. Old man, let me help you. Chong Hao drank loudly. Just now he thought that Lin Shu was just an ordinary junior practitioner, and he couldn't protect himself, so he could only abandon Lin Shu. But now that Lin Shu has a certain strength, he thinks he can still rescue Lin Shu. Don't come here, Lin Shu shouted. He finally meets interesting opponents and doesn't want to be disturbed. He also didn't want to be distracted to protect others during the battle, so it's better not to come at all. Chong Hao stared blankly, feeling anxious inside. Why did Lin Shu refuse his help? This old man, is he planning to use himself as a bait to buy us time to escape? Chong Hao's heart shook violently, his eyes widened. He really didn't expect that this old man would make such a decision when he was facing danger. Lin Shu's spirit of fearlessness and sacrifice completely shocked Chong Hao. He is ashamed and admired. Things have come to this, Chong Hao can't let Lin Shu down. Run away. He clenched his fist, did not return, and fled with the three-person team. In fact, he also understood that even if he stayed and fought against the herd with Lin Shu, his chances of winning were slim, and both of them might die there in the end. What? Isn't that old man stupid? But he sacrificed himself to help us. That's what happened. You beast, don't kill that old man. When I was in the car, I even laughed at this old man, but now, he has saved my life. The three-person team was excited and indignant, shocked by Lin Shu's actions, and felt guilty at the same time. It was because of them that Lin Shu was killed. I must become stronger, and when the time comes, I will kill these beasts and avenge that old man. We don't know the old man's name yet, and we don't know where he lives. After returning to the city, I want to apologize to his family, and I want to pay back the old man's life-saving grace. The giant iron demon bull that was punched by Lin Shu and flew away slowly got up, with some surprise in his eyes. But the next moment, surprise is replaced by anger. Roar! A sky-shattering roar resounded in all directions. The giant iron demon bull was completely enraged. Among the humans it encountered in the past, none of them ran away when they saw it, and no one dared to confront it head-on. But today, he was smashed through the skull with his fist by an old human man, injured and bled. This is a great shame. Ho ho ho. The other iron demon bulls around them also roared, and the monstrous killing intent swept across and spread. Some small animals nearby, or weak and ferocious beasts, were all frightened and fled in panic. Rumble. The giant iron demon bull charged again, and the pair of huge black horns on its head flashed a terrifying cold light, cutting through the air, setting off a storm, and stabbing at Lin Shu. This is the strongest attack of the giant iron demon bull. Well done. Lin Shu was not afraid at all, and at the moment when the giant iron demon bull charged over, he grabbed the giant horn and stabbed at it with one hand. The powerful physical strength of the steel bear made Lin Shu's burst of power at this moment comparable to a third-order beast, firmly suppressing the giant iron demon bull, making its offensive useless. The giant iron demon bull shook its head violently, trying to break free. It mobilized all its strength, and charged Lin Shu for more than 10 meters. Although my strength is very strong, it is still too much for me to fight with giant beasts. What's more, Lin Shu is now surrounded, and the other iron demon bulls around him are also attacking. Lin Shu couldn't accept it, and was surrounded by a herd of cows. Then let's fight with all our strength. Lin Shu was full of fighting spirit. The spirit power in his body surged, pouring into the blood and skin. In the next second, red gold flame skin and burning blood fully activated. Lin Shu's skin further transformed into metal, turning redder red, the flame texture on it shone brightly, and blazing flames spewed out violently. Boom! A thick beam of flame shot towards the sky. Lin Shu's whole body was bathed in the monstrous flames, as if the god of fire descended into the world and burned everything. The grass and trees near him were instantly ignited, and quickly spread to the surroundings. Such a terrifying power of flames shocked the besieging iron demon bulls. Boom! One horn of the giant iron demon bull was still held by Lin Shu. At this moment, Lin Shu was burning fiercely, and the flames burned along the horn to the giant iron demon bull. In an instant, the huge black bull became a fire bull. Under normal circumstances, the fire damage of red gold flame skin is not so powerful, but with burning blood, Lin Shu can burst out amazing fire power. Pong! Lin Shu greeted him with another punch. The violent fist, entwined with crimson flames, smashed on the head of the giant iron demon bull. The giant iron demon bull was thrown flying more than 10 meters again, leaving a scorched black hole on its head. The fire even penetrated the wound along the wound and entered the giant iron demon bull's body, burning its brain. This time, the giant iron demon bull didn't get up. It kept roaring furiously, but the sound quickly became smaller and finally became inaudible. Died. Lin Shu originally thought that he could play a few more times. After all the beasts have rough skin and thick flesh, so they are very resistant to beating. As a result, I exploded with all my strength, and the giant iron demon bull of the second order late stage fell. Through this battle, Lin Shu clearly recognized the powerful power of Own. This alone is not in vain. After all, in Kunyan City, Lin Shu has never had the opportunity to test his full strength. Is this my current strength? Lin Shu laughed. The giant iron demon bull is dead. The other iron demon cows were suddenly overwhelmed by anger and hatred, and attacked like crazy. Pong! Lin Shu punched a simple and rough punch, hitting a second-order early-stage iron demon bull, leaving a scorched black pit on its body. The iron demon bull was instantly ignited by the raging flames, and was thrown into the air violently. Pong! 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 Lin Shu kept punching. Each punch was extremely powerful and unstoppable, and each punch was blazing, igniting an iron demon bull. In the chaotic battlefield, surrounded by beasts, Lin Shu is like an invincible god of war. When Lin Shu killed 20 or 30 iron demon bulls, the remaining second-tier iron demon cows finally regained some sense, and a little fear appeared in the pupils looking at Lin Shu. So these second-tier iron demon cows beckoned the other first-tier iron demon cows to escape. In the blink of an eye, the herd scattered. Lin Shu stood on a chaotic ground full of potholes, scorched marks, and flames. He watched the fleeing beast, but did not pursue it. Not kind. It's just that the spirit power in Lin Shu's body is not much, and if he continues to hunt down, the spirit power must be insufficient. Without spirit power, Lin Shu would not be able to exert the full power of steel bare body, red gold flame skin, and burning blood, and his strength would be greatly reduced. There is too much movement here, and it is likely to attract other fierce beasts. Lin Shu left quickly. About 10 minutes later, Lin Shu found a hiding place, took a short rest, and waited for the spirit power to fully recover before acting. Lin Shopin sat down and started practicing Ling Yuan Gong to absorb the spiritual qi between heaven and earth. After practicing for a while, Lin Shu realized something was wrong. The efficiency of absorbing heaven and earth spiritual qi has become faster. There must be a reason for this sudden change. Could it be because of the battle with the beast? My body is stimulated and my potential is squeezed, so it improves the efficiency of cultivation. This is really a pleasant surprise. Feeling the improvement of the body's absorption efficiency of spiritual qi from heaven and earth, and the rapid filling of spirit power in the body, Lin Shu was overjoyed. Currently, his attack and defense are very powerful, capable of bursting out the combat power of a grandmaster. Speed is Lin Shu's shortcoming. But in fact, spirit power is Lin Shu's shortest board. Lin Shu's speed can at least explode to the martial master level. But the spirit power value is only at the level of a junior practitioner. So, Lin Shu is actually just a junior practitioner now. Compared with the speed of improvement, he cares more about the improvement of spirit power. It's just that in this respect, Lin Shu's talent is mediocre, and it's useless to force him, he can only let nature take its course. Compared to the efficiency of practicing at home, it has increased by at least 50 to 60%. For Lin Shu, an ordinary talent, this 50% to 60% improvement is too rare and precious. He had only two purposes for going out of the city. First, fight with fierce beasts to improve combat experience and skills. Second, look for lava beasts and red berries to refine magma blood. But now, Lin Shu has another purpose, which is to speed up the absorption of heaven and earth spiritual qi through the stimulation of battle, and improve his own realm. The reason why those practitioners are keen to go out of the city to hunt ferocious beasts is probably not only for making money, but also for this reason. Through fighting to increase the value of spirit power, or even break through realm bottleneck. It shouldn't be a big problem to raise my spirit power value to the level of an intermediate practitioner when I go out to hunt beasts this time. Originally, Lin Shu's spirit power level was not very far from intermediate practitioner. Moreover, it was Lin Shu's first time fighting a fierce beast, and the effect was surprisingly good. Maybe, there is still a glimmer of hope to be promoted to the level of a senior practitioner. Lin Shu's eyes brightened. The higher the spirit power value, the stronger he will be. Not long after Lin Shu left the herd battle site, a team of 4 arrived. What happened here? It's so badly damaged. There are still a lot of corpses of iron demon bulls. Is it a herd of iron demon bulls? The herd of beasts has always been the stronger side in the wilderness. But this time, the herd of iron demon bulls has suffered heavy losses. The 4-member team froze in place. The scene in front of me was really shocking. The ground was completely destroyed, charred marks were everywhere, and corpses were everywhere. Unimaginable. What a great battle has taken place here. Is this what the human race practitioner did? What level of powerhouse is it? It's too scary. A short man marveled. The four approached the scene and observed the traces at close range. The captain of the team was a one-eyed man in his 30s or 40s, with a fierce face, and a little shock and awe in his one-eyed eyes. Judging from the wounds on the Iron Demon Bull, it was indeed done by humans. The one-eyed man said in a deep voice. These Iron Demon cows were all killed by the same attack method, and they were all killed with one blow. The attacker's strength is unparalleled, and it also comes with fire damage. After observing for a while, the one-eyed man said again. My mother, smash the head of the Iron Demon Bull with your fist. This is too cruel. The short man was shocked. Ferocious beasts have rough skin and thick flesh. Among them, the Iron Demon Bull has extremely strong defense, especially the skull position. Practitioners of the same level, even if they attack with sharp weapons, it is difficult to break through its defense. With fist, I'm afraid I'll break Owen's fist. But now, they discovered a ferocious existence that smashed through the skull of the Iron Demon Bull with his fist. Hiss! A giant Iron Demon cow of the second late stage. The captain, the one-eyed man, suddenly took a breath, and stared blankly at a huge corpse not far away. This is a ferocious beast of the second order late stage, very close to a powerful existence of the third order. With the strength of his second-level junior martial master, if he encounters this giant Iron Demon Bull, he can't even withstand a single blow. But such a powerful existence also died tragically here. Next, we have to act cautiously. If we are not careful and meet this ruthless person, we will suffer disaster. The one-eyed man said with an incomparably dignified expression. The other members of the team nodded repeatedly. They didn't want to meet this cruel guy. However, we also have to thank this existence. He didn't harvest the spoils, we picked up a bunch of materials for nothing. The short man had a greedy smile on his face. Perhaps that strong human race was also seriously injured, so he didn't dare to stay longer, so he retreated. Don't worry about so much, harvest the materials quickly, these materials can be sold for a lot of money. This wave alone is enough to kill us for a month. I think we can take half a year off after finishing this ticket, ha ha ha, it's great. You said, will the strong man just leave temporarily, and will come back here to take the materials? A team member asked a question suddenly. Suddenly, everyone in the team froze and trembled in fear. Looking at the precious materials all over the floor, they suddenly felt unscented. Taking advantage of the fast cultivation efficiency, Lin Shu practiced for a full day until the efficiency of absorbing spiritual qi decreased and slowly returned to the original level. He stopped and started again. With the deepening, the number of beasts encountered on the road gradually increased, and their strength became stronger, but most of them were still not Lin Shu's enemies. It's a pity, the materials on these beasts are also very valuable. Lin Shu said that although he is not short of money now, he will not see that he does not want money. It was also due to the lack of preparation for the first time out of the city. Lin Shu did not have a sharp weapon to cut the beast material, so he had to tear it with his hands, which could easily destroy the precious material. There is one more big problem. For example, a ferocious beast like the Iron Demon Ox has the most precious pair of horns on its body, estimated to weigh 1,000 catties. Undoubtedly, not all of these precious beast materials are large or heavy. Lin Shu can't get so many beast materials by himself. He couldn't drag several thousand catties of materials to hunt other beasts, could he? That's too restrictive, which affects Lin Shu's performance. In addition, dragging a lot of beast materials, the strong smell of blood will attract a lot of beasts. Don't look at Lin Shu defeating a herd of beasts, but when the number of fierce beasts reaches a certain level, he is powerless and will be swallowed by the herd. Combining various situations, Lin Shu didn't harvest beast materials, unless they were exactly what he needed, or were extremely valuable treasures. After half a day, Lin Shu came to a potholed area, where the terrain was trampled and muddy, with messy vegetation. He immediately smelled a strange fragrance, which was extraordinarily alluring and yearning. Just taking a sip, the body is slightly warmed up, which is very comfortable. There must be a baby here. Lin Shu looked happy. There are dangers outside the city, but there are also opportunities. When many practitioners go out, they will imagine that they are lucky, find some treasure, and then become rich overnight. Lin Shu also encountered some spirit stones and spiritual herbs along the way, but they were all of low value, and he despised them. But now, Lin Shu should have found a very good baby. Where there are treasures, there must be powerful beasts guarding them. It's not so easy to get them. Lin Shu was vigilant and ready to fight. He walked slowly. Finally, he saw a group of fierce beasts. Then, in a puddle surrounded by these ferocious beasts, bloody and slender spiritual herbs grew out of it. Among the many blood-colored spiritual herbs, there is also a half-meter-high spiritual flower. The whole body is like blood-colored glass, and the incomparably gorgeous flowers bloom wantonly, releasing wisps of blood-colored fragrance. The vicious beasts nearby are all absorbing the strange fragrance and eating those blood-colored spiritual herbs. Blood spiritual herbs, blood yang spirit flower. Lin Shu recognized it immediately. Blood spiritual herbs are first-rank spiritual materials, but they have good effects and are of high value. If practitioners can take blood spiritual herbs regularly, they can strengthen their bodies and promote the improvement of cultivation base. And that blood yang spiritual flower is amazing. It is a third-rank spiritual material. Its efficacy and value are almost 100 times that of blood spiritual herbs. This blood yang spirit flower looks like it has just matured. Even if it is like this, its value is probably 2 to 3 million star coins. This baby is not bad. Lin Shu took a fancy to it. The blood yang spirit flower is so light and easy to carry. Of course, Lin Shu didn't intend to sell this blood yang spirit flower, he would choose to take it himself. Blood yang spirit flower contains amazing energy, which can strengthen the body, improve strength, defense, self-healing ability, etc. It can also greatly increase spirit power and promote the improvement of cultivation base. Lin Shu wanted to increase the value of spirit power right now. This treasure came too timely. But right now, let's deal with these beasts first. When Lin Shu glanced at the beasts surrounding the blood yang spirit flower, he was surprised to find that these beasts were all iron demon bulls. Could this be the herd of beasts he defeated yesterday? Ho ho! Sensing someone approaching, the iron demon bull herd immediately roared angrily, trying to drive the intruder away. This piece of spiritual material is their asset, especially the blood yang spirit flower, which contains astonishing chi and blood essence and huge spirit power. Their leader originally planned to take this treasure to hit the 3rd level. But the plan couldn't keep up with the changes, and their leader died at the hands of a human grandfather. At this time, several Tier 2 iron demon bulls in the herd were a little dazed after seeing that the intruder was a human grandfather. Isn't this the cruel human being? Killed their leader, and also killed a large number of iron demon bulls. Unexpectedly, this human being was so vicious that he came to their hometown again. Bullying too much. Fight with this human. But when Lin Shu's body began to swell, turned into metal, radiated red light, and started to burn with flames. The angry roars of those 2nd-tier iron demon cows seemed to have turned into howls. Several Tier 2 iron demon bulls turned and fled, and then the other iron demon bulls followed suit. The herd, scared away. Lin Shu obtained these precious spiritual materials without encountering any difficulties. Lin Shu didn't go after the iron demon bull. If the treasure here was taken away by others, it would be a big loss. Whoosh! Lin Shu hurried to the spiritual material and reached out to pick the shuiyang spiritual flower. As for the blood spiritual herbs, he also collected them all. Perhaps because of the blood yang spirit flower, the quality of the blood spiritual herbs here is relatively high. And, in essence, Lin Shu is now a junior practitioner. These blood spiritual herbs are very effective for him, and the medicinal effect of the blood yang spirit flower may be too fierce. But at this moment, Lin Shu heard footsteps. The sound of footsteps came, and a team of 4 was approaching Lin Shu. The leader is a one-eyed man with a cold and stern expression, and he is not a kind person at first sight. The other 3 teammates each dragged a large bundle of beast materials. They were originally going to the hunting camp to sell these precious beast materials, but when they passed by, they heard some movement, so they came over to have a look. Boss, it's the blood spiritual herbs and the blood yang spirit flower. A short man in the team suddenly exclaimed. His breathing became short of breath, and he couldn't move his eyes away from the shuiyang spirit flower. Indeed, the value of the blood yang spirit flower is too high. This plant is worth at least 2 or 3 million star coins, and it is the most valuable treasure he has ever encountered in his life. There are so many blood spiritual herbs, which can also be worth a lot of money. I'm not blind, I still have one eye. The one-eyed man also stared at the Shuiyang spirit flower. This is a third-rank spiritual material, and it is a perfect panacea for him. As long as he takes this spiritual material, he is sure to hit an intermediate martial master in a short time, and he will be even more sure of hitting an advanced martial master in the future. However, this precious spiritual material is now the owner's property. The eyes of the one-eyed man moved from the blood yang spirit flower to Lin Shu. An old man. Judging by Lin Shu's appearance, he may be almost 100 years old, right? It is rare enough to run outside the city at such an age. The one-eyed man carefully sensed the fluctuation of Lin Shu's spirit power, which was so weak, much weaker than his own, probably a junior practitioner, close to an intermediate practitioner. Such a weak old man ventured out of the city, did not die in the hands of a fierce beast, and also harvested such expensive spiritual materials. This is nothing but luck. But their luck is not bad. I came across the corpses of dozens of iron demon cows, and picked up a pile of materials for nothing. Now that the blood yang spirit flower has been discovered, although it has an owner, the owner can be changed. Old man, whoever sees the treasure has a share, shouldn't you share it equally with us? The one-eyed man laughed. If it is really evenly divided, Lin Shu can only account for 20% of the 5 people present. You didn't contribute, and you are not qualified to distribute the spoils with me. Lin Shu rolled his eyes at him. Although he didn't make much effort, the group of beasts just slipped away, and he easily obtained these spiritual materials. But the reason why the group of beasts escaped was all because of Lin Shu, and had nothing to do with these people. Then what did you do? The one-eyed man asked. The 3 people in the team were a little impatient. They didn't understand what the boss was talking about with this old man, so they just killed them and it was over. There used to be a group of iron demon cows here, but I scared them away. Lin Shu said lightly. The one-eyed man was taken aback for a moment, and then couldn't help laughing. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha, old guy, are you too good at bragging? You actually said that you scared away the herd of beasts. When you really met the herd of beasts, I think you are the first one to be frightened. The other members of the team also laughed, and the short man laughed so hard that his stomach hurt. Even a few of them dare not brag like that. That's a herd of beasts. Experienced hunters will turn around and run away when they see it, not daring to touch it head on. Lin Shu raised his brows, turned around and left without paying attention to the group of people. Do it, the one-eyed man suddenly ordered. He chatted with Lin Shu just now. In fact, he wanted to know more information and test Lin Shu at the same time. In the end, I got such a ridiculous answer. It seemed that I was too cautious and wasted so much time. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The 3 subordinates immediately put down their trophies, took out their weapons, and shot at Lin Shu like sharp arrows. The one-eyed man is a junior martial master, and all 3 of them are senior practitioners. You want to rob? Lin Shu looked at the 3 people rushing towards him. That's wrong, old man, it's killing people for money. The short man looked excited, with a bloodthirsty look on his face. That's what they do. However, it was the first time to attack such an old man. Why? Lin Shu sighed. Now the human race is facing the threat of fierce beasts, and the living space is constantly being squeezed. Numerous brave practitioners fought fierce beasts on the front line, defending the dignity of the human race, and even sacrificed their own lives in exchange for the peace and tranquility of the human race. But there are some scum, who possess great power, and do some deeds that harm their own people. These people are actually more hateful than beasts, and they deserve death. Die, old man. The short man rushed in front of Lin Shu the fastest, and with a big knife carrying unparalleled strength, he slashed towards Lin Shu's neck. But when the big knife was a few centimeters away from Lin Shu's neck, it was suddenly pinched by a steel-like palm, making it difficult to move forward. What? The short man looked shocked. This old man is just a junior practitioner, how could he catch his knife and block it with his palm? Just when the short man was in a daze, Lin Shu withdrew his broadsword with a little force, and slashed down with a wave of his hand. Whoops! The knife light slashed across the top of the short man's head, and fell to the ground. The short man's body was also split in 2, and he fell to the ground, spilling blood all over the floor. That pair of eyes were full of shock, and they could not rest in peace. The other two teammates thought that the short man would be able to deal with Lin Shu easily, but they didn't even have a chance to make a move, so they had already relaxed. But they saw that the short man's body was divided into two from the center of his eyebrows. Hiss! A bone-piercing chill swept over them, rushing from the soles of their feet to the top of the sky in an instant. Their brains were chilled, and the hairs on their bodies stood on end. How could this old man kill the short man casually? The two senior practitioners were shocked when they saw the short man being killed by Lin Shu. Shoot together. The two glanced at each other. The spirit power in their bodies was running crazily, carrying weapons to outflank them from both sides. They already understood that they underestimated the old man before. The short man suffered from this loss and was negligent, so he was killed by the old man. But they have already learned their lesson, and now they will use all their strength to kill this old man. Lin Shu stood where he was, silently staring ahead. He didn't take the initiative to attack, mainly because the enemy would come to his door, so he didn't bother to move. Anyway, come one, he kills one. Rear. The one-eyed man who was watching the show quietly with a relaxed expression, saw a fierce glint in his one-eyed man the moment he saw the short man being killed. This old man is not simple, he thought to himself, one hand quietly stretched behind his back, holding a blood-patterned saber. When On's two subordinates outflanked Lin Shu from both sides, the one-eyed man suddenly attacked violently. His speed exploded to the extreme. Like a bolt of black lightning, he crossed a distance of tens of meters in an instant, and arrived in front of Lin Shu. Whoosh! The blood-striped knife light drew a bleak blood-colored crescent moon in midair, cutting towards the top of Lin Shu's head. At this moment, Lin Shu's attention was attracted by On's two subordinates, and he must not be able to react in time to defuse On's fatal blow. This old man is dead. The boss has made a move. The two subordinates were also stunned, and were amazed at the boss's ruthlessness and strength. At this time, Lin Shu's two hands just caught the weapons attacking from both sides, and clamped them tightly like iron tongs. Lin Shu raised his head slightly, and seeing the attack from above, he really had no time to resist it. This old man is so powerful. Our weapon was pinched by him, and we couldn't move forward, and it was difficult to break free. The two men were amazed. They realized that even if the two joined forces, they would not be the old man's opponent, and they might even die in the old man's hands. Fortunately, the boss made a timely move and launched a thunderous surprise attack. This old man is doomed. Pong! The one-eyed man's powerful blow hit, a burst of metal explosion sounded, and the blood exploded. Just as the one-eyed man and his two subordinates were about to cheer for victory, the three of them discovered that Lin Shu was still standing where he was, not dead. The skin on Lin Shu's body was a fiery red metallic color. On his head, there was no bleeding, no wound, not even a scar. How can this be? The one-eyed man's face was shocked, and he roared inwardly. His knife was indeed a hit. The two subordinates were completely dumbfounded. Is this old man still human? He used his head to resist the boss's full blow, but he was not injured at all. Even if it is a ferocious beast of the second order early stage, if it resists this strike, it will be seriously injured if it does not die. Monster! Monster! This old man is not human. The faces of the two subordinates were pale, their bodies trembled uncontrollably, and cold sweat broke out on their foreheads. They wanted to escape, but found that the weapons were tightly held by Lin Shu and could not be drawn out. So they abandoned expensive weapons. Life-saving is the most important thing. But right now, boom, the flame texture on Lin Shu's body flickered, and the turbulent flames erupted suddenly, forming a thick pillar of flame light, soaring into the sky. Ah! The three one-eyed men were blown several meters away by the flames that erupted from Lin Shu's body, and hit the ground heavily, their bodies burning with flames. The two senior practitioners screamed and wailed a few times before dying from their injuries. Senior, spare me. Senior, don't kill me. The one-eyed man has also become a fireman at this moment, but he is wearing a defensive suit inside, and he is also a martial master, with stronger vitality and resistance. The one-eyed man knelt down in horror and begged for mercy. He never thought that this old and thin old man was so terrifying. As a junior martial master, I am no match at all. He could tell that Lin Shu didn't do anything serious at all, otherwise he would have been instantly killed by one move. Horrible, horrible, etc. The one-eyed man suddenly remembered something. In a chaotic battlefield they happened to find before, those dead iron demon bulls were killed by a strong human being. According to his observations, that strong human being had such a powerful punch that he could smash the skull of an iron demon bull, and the attack of this strong human being also included fire damage. These two conditions are completely consistent with the old man in front of him. It was you, Senior, who defeated the iron demon bull herd. The one-eyed man was terrified, his heart was beating wildly, as if he was about to jump out of his body. I actually provoked such a terrifying human race powerhouse. Whoosh! Lin Shu threw an alloy saber in his hand, directly piercing through the top of the one-eyed man's head, and nailing it to the ground behind him. This was Lin Shu's first time killing people, but he didn't feel any discomfort. Perhaps it was because he had seen too many scenes of human beings dying in battle, or maybe it was because of the previous killings that had cleansed his heart. This one-eyed man has a lot of combat experience, but it's a pity that he met me. And Lin Shu also learned a lot through the accumulation of battles. After packing up the spiritual materials, Lin Shu took another look at the 3 small piles of materials for the Iron Demon Bull and then left. Even if the team of one-eyed men cut up all the precious materials of the Iron Demon Bull, sorted them out, and sent them to Lin Shu. Lin Shu also felt that it was troublesome, a burden, and he was too lazy to ask for it. Hours passed and night fell. Usually at night, practitioners will choose to rest. Because the night will weaken the practitioner's strength, but it has little effect on the beast. There are even some special ferocious beasts that are active at night and have a huge advantage in the dark night. It will be bad luck to meet them. It's better to save your energy and fight again during the day. Lin Shu is also planning to find a place to rest. He walked to a hillside and looked into the distance. What's there? Lin Shu seemed to see a bustling town. How could there be a town in the wasteland outside the city? Today's blue star is full of ferocious beasts. Ordinary people can only hide in the city built by a powerful practitioner and get the protection of the strong to live a stable life. It stands to reason that the town should have completely disappeared decades ago. After all, how can the strength of a town resist a large number of beasts? Lin Shu jumped down from the hillside and walked towards the town. After approaching, Lin Shu found that the town was bigger than he imagined, surrounded by practitioner guards. He looked into the town, not a single ordinary person, all practitioners. A hunting camp. Lin Shu suddenly remembered that when he first left the city, an intermediate martial master named Chong Hao mentioned it to him. If he guessed correctly, he found the hunting camp. Go in and have a look. Lin Shu walked over quickly. He was a bit curious about the hunting camp established outside the city. Hey, someone is here. It's an old man. At the entrance of the hunting camp, 2 intermediate practitioners were guarding. They chatted when they saw someone approaching from afar. It was only when Lin Shu approached that they could see the specific appearance of the visitor. I'll go. This old man looks older than my grandfather, probably 100 years old. At such an old age, you still come to hunt beasts outside the city. Lin Shu ignored the guards' comments and walked straight into the camp, but was stopped by them. Old man, is this your first time visiting the hunting camp? You have to pay a toll of 20,000 stars to enter. One of the guards said. Give. After Lin Shu paid the money, he was not in a hurry to go in, but asked, it's indeed my first time here, can you introduce me a little? The guards are usually too lazy to take care of this kind of thing, but seeing Lin Shu go out of the city to hunt ferocious beasts at such an old age, he feels a little admiration in his heart. Then I'll talk to you. This hunting camp was jointly built by many forces in Kunyan City, for the convenience of hunters outside. There are 4 such hunting camps around Kunyan City. The guards started talking incessantly. When Lin Shu heard half of it, he had a clear understanding of the hunting camp. The establishment of a hunting camp allows hunters in the wilderness to gather together, exchange information, or form a team, greatly improving efficiency and survival rate. In addition, some practitioners who were injured in the battle with fierce beasts, and it was too late to return to Kunyan City, could also recuperate and heal their injuries in the camp, reducing the death rate. Moreover, in the hunting camp, there are exchanges for the major forces in Kunyan City. Hunters can sell their own harvest on the exchange, and then continue hunting fierce beasts, without having to go back to Kunyan City to process the harvest. The major forces can also gain many benefits. the hunting camp is equivalent to a tiny city, with all the facilities in it. Some practitioners even built houses in the camp, and lived there for several years without returning to Kunyan City. The guard smiled. After listening to the guard's narration, Lin Shu felt that the toll fee of 20,000 star coins was a good deal. It's much safer here than outside. Even if you just come in to rest and sleep, it's worthwhile to relax your tense nerves and sleep peacefully. These days, Lin Shu has been hunting fierce beasts, and he is also a little tired. He can sleep well here today. Besides, Lin Shu also took a fancy to the hunting camp. There are all practitioners here, and there are even some experienced hunters who have stayed outside the city for several years. They must know the situation outside the wilderness very well. One of the main purposes of Lin Shu's going out of the city is to find lava beasts and plasma fruits. These two things, Lin Shu has no clue yet, maybe he can find relevant clues here. Lin Shu wandered the streets to learn about the camp. This old man can do it. Being able to come here smoothly proves that his sword is not old. It's really a martyr's twilight years, so ambitious, I admire it. Passers-by saw Lin Shu with different expressions. It's really rare for someone at Lin Shu's age to go out of the city to hunt ferocious beasts. Some even directly expressed their admiration. At the end of the street, there was a hunting bar, and there was a lot of noise in it. Chong Hao, I heard that you encountered a herd of beasts. Is it true? A strong man in armor drank a glass of beer, hiccuped, and looked at a wine table next to him. There are 4 people sitting at the wine table. Chong Hao, and the 3-person team. That's right. Chong Hao nodded and took a sip of liquor. Then you were lucky, you can come back alive, ha ha ha. The armored man speaks badly, but he has a good relationship with Chong Hao. With Chong Hao Sr.'s strength, even a group of ordinary beasts can't do anything to him. Brother Chong Hao, what kind of beasts did you encounter? The practitioners nearby became interested immediately when they heard the words, hordes of beasts. In addition, Chong Haowei has a good reputation, a good character, and a wide network of contacts, so many practitioners participated in this topic. For a moment, many eyes were on Chong Hao. It's a herd of Iron Demon cattle. Chong Hao said. The Iron Demon ox herd, this is a relatively powerful herd, but the Iron Demon ox is slow and can't catch up with you, no wonder you are fine. The armored man said. No, there is a giant second stage late stage Iron Demon bull in the Iron Demon ox herd. If the herd keeps chasing it down, I may also escape death. Chong Hao shook his head. After all, the physical strength of human beings is definitely not comparable to that of ferocious beasts. What? The giant Iron Demon bull of the second order late stage. My dear, this is brutal. Everyone couldn't help but exclaimed. Then how did you manage to escape? The armored man asked in surprise. But when Chong Hao was asked this question, his face suddenly showed deep sadness, and he said, it is a centenarian who saved us. It was a centenarian who saved us. As soon as these words came out, many practitioners in the bar were all taken aback. It took a few seconds for someone to react. 100-year-old man. How strong can he be? At most, he is a practitioner. That's right, a 100-year-old martial master is very rare, because the body is weakened with age, and the spirit power is also lost quickly. Even if he is a 100-year-old martial master, his strength is not as good as that of brother Chong Hao. After all, at such an age, his body cannot compare to that of a young man. In this case, it will end up as brother Chong Hao saving the old man. There was a lot of discussion. The herd of beasts, the giant Iron Demon cow of the second order late stage, and the centenarian, the combination of these things makes people very curious and wants to know the truth. Could it be the powerhouse above the martial master? A long-haired woman said. Since a 100-year-old man can save Chong Hao, his strength must be extraordinary. As for the path of practice, as the realm gets higher and higher, the lifespan will be longer. Among them, Martial Master can live up to 150 years old, and Grand Great Master can live up to 200 years old. For the Grand Great Master, 100 years old is not too old, he is at the pinnacle of life. Is it a 100-year-old Grand Great Master? Such characters are undoubtedly not all veterans of the catastrophe era. It turned out to be the 100-year-old Grand Great Master who made the move. Chong Hao, you are lucky. Did you take the opportunity to make friends with the 100-year-old Grand Great Master? According to Chong Hao's description, everyone in the bar believed that the person who rescued Chong Hao was a grand great master. That old man is not a grand great master, he is just a junior practitioner. At this moment, a broad-faced man said in the three-person team sitting next to Chong Hao. During the escape, the three of them didn't look back, so they didn't see the scene of Lin Shu making a move, thinking that Lin Shu was just an ordinary junior practitioner. Boy, don't talk nonsense. A mere junior practitioner, in the face of the herd, you have to die, how can I save you? Stinky boy, do you think we are easy to deceive? Several practitioners frowned and reprimanded them coldly. He didn't lie to you. That old man is indeed an ordinary practitioner. He used himself as a bait to hold back the herd and saved our lives. A well-dressed woman in the three-person team stood up and said. As she spoke, her eyes were a little moist. A centenarian sacrificed his life to save a group of strangers like them. The woman's heart was deeply touched and she felt guilty. In the bar, it suddenly fell silent. Seeing that the two of them didn't look like they were lying at all, Chong Hao didn't refute aloud, and kept drinking with a sad face. Is this really the case? The crowd who were laughing at first fell silent. Although they had never seen the centenarian who sacrificed his life to save others, they could imagine how brave and kind that old man was based on the descriptions of Chong Hao and others. In order to save the younger generation, he sacrificed his own life without hesitation. If they encountered this situation, they would definitely not be able to make this decision, and they would feel ashamed. The minds of many listeners were also touched, and they paid respect to the centenarian. I respect this old man. That strong man in armor is a man of temperament, not to mention that the old man saved the life of his friend Chong Hao. He spilled a glass of wine on the ground, poured himself another, and drank it down. I also pay respects to this brave centenarian to comfort his spirit in heaven. The long-haired woman also imitated the armored man. If I have the strength in the future, I will definitely destroy the Iron Demon cattle herd and avenge this old man. The old man must have been a good man when he was young, and I respect him too. The atmosphere of the hunting beast bar slowly changed, from lively and noisy to mournful condolences. At this time, two practitioners walked in together, and when they saw the scene in the bar, they froze in place. They thought they were in the wrong place. Only found out after asking. There was a centenarian who saved 3 young practitioners and martial master Chong Hao with his own life. Everyone was mourning the kind and brave old man. Speaking of which, when I was outside just now, I met an old man who looked almost 100 years old. The practitioner said. Hearing this, Chong Hao raised his face slightly and his eyes sparkled brightly. Where did you meet that old man? Chong Hao walked over. Facing the mighty aura of his intermediate martial master, the intermediate practitioner felt an invisible oppression, and quickly said truthfully, just the corner in front. Chong Hao rushed out immediately. He had always had a thought that maybe the old man had special means to escape, and he must thank him in person. Nobody. Chong Hao found the place the practitioner had mentioned, but he didn't find the old man. It is very likely that the practitioner was wrong, and he thought too much. Under normal circumstances, even if he was caught in the herd of beasts, he was close to death, and the old man's hope of surviving was very slim. Lin Shu found a hotel, took a comfortable bath, and then fell asleep. In the wilderness, even Lin Shu kept tense all the time. Coupled with the continuous fighting and killing, and it was the first time to go hunting, he was physically and mentally exhausted. That night, Lin Shu slept soundly and had a sweet dream. Woke up at 10 o'clock the next day. After waking up, Lin Shu ate breakfast and went back to his room to practice. He took out a blood spiritual herbs, stuffed it into his mouth, and chewed. A hot current flowed through the whole body immediately, replenishing Lin Shu's body energy, and there was also a large amount of spiritual qi essence. Lin Shu immediately operated the Ling Yuan Gong to digest the energy of the blood spiritual herbs. Half a day passed. Lin Shu suddenly felt as if a switch was turned on in his body, and the speed of the spirit power flow suddenly accelerated, and the volume also increased to a higher level. Lin Shu made some guesses, opened the system panel, took a look, and raised the corners of his mouth. I didn't expect to break through so soon. In the realm column on the system panel, Lin Shu has changed from a junior practitioner to an intermediate practitioner. You know, Lin Shu has only become a junior practitioner not long ago. In addition, he is not good at cultivating talent. Under normal circumstances, it is absolutely impossible to break through intermediate practitioner so quickly. Even at his age, it is impossible to break through at all. But Lin Shu's breakthrough is not a normal situation. Since obtaining the God-level refining system, he has refined his own skin, muscles, and blood into equipment, improving the body's absorption efficiency of spiritual qi, which is equivalent to increasing a part of his cultivation talent. Secondly, after Lin Shu had money, what he practiced was no longer the most basic spirit power cultivation technique, but the Lingyuan Gong, worth 200,000 star coins. Then, Lin Shu hunted and killed ferocious beasts in Sunrise City these days, and in constant battles, increased his potential and promoted the improvement of his cultivation base. Finally, there is a blood spiritual herbs. The blood spiritual herbs are the elixir that can greatly help the practitioner to improve, not to mention the blood spiritual herbs harvested by Lin Shu are all grown near the blood yang spirit flower, and the quality is higher. Break through the intermediate practitioner so soon, so there is more hope for the breakthrough senior practitioner before returning to the city. The higher the cultivation base realm, the stronger his strength will naturally be. You know, Lin Shu also has a third-rank spiritual material, the blood yang spirit flower, which is worth millions of star coins, and the consumption of the Grand Great Master can boost the cultivation base. Lin Shu is not taking it now, because she is afraid that the medicine will be too powerful to last, and even if she can last, it will be a waste. Get out of the room, get ready for dinner, and inquire about lava beast and crimson berries. However, as soon as Lin Shu walked out of the hotel gate, he was blocked by 4 people. He thought it was a robbery, but he thought that this is a hunting camp and private fighting is forbidden. Old man, are you all right? A broad-faced man looked at Lin Shu all over his face, carefully examining his whole body to see if Lin Shu was missing any arms or legs. They found that Lin Shu was intact, with a ruddy complexion, and in extremely good condition. And because Lin Shu has just become an intermediate practitioner, the spirit power fluctuates very obviously, so the man with a wide face can easily perceive it. Not only is this old man fine, but the cultivation base has also broken through. The broad-faced man and his teammates looked confused. It's hard to imagine what happened between Lin Shu and the Iron Demon bull herd after they successfully escaped. Grandpa, it's great that you're fine. We thought you were dead. The well-dressed woman was emotional, and her voice was crying. Senior, it's really great that you survived the herd, otherwise Chong will feel guilty for the rest of his life. Chong Hao said happily. He went out of the bar yesterday but didn't find Lin Shu, but he didn't give up. After some inquiries, he learned that someone had seen a very old man at the entrance of this hotel. So Chong Hao and the 3-person team guarded here. Unexpectedly, they waited for this old man. And this old man is their savior. The sadness in the 4 people's hearts was swept away immediately, leaving only surprise. How do you talk, expecting me to die? Lin Shu had already recognized these people and couldn't help laughing. We didn't mean that, the senior misunderstood. My name is Zhao Zicheng. If the senior needs anything in the future, just tell me. If I, Zhao Zicheng, dare to say a word, I will make my son blind in the future. The broad-faced man Zhao Zicheng said sincerely. Afterwards, Zhao Zicheng asked curiously, Senior, how did you get out of trouble? His 2 teammates were also very curious. They really didn't expect that the old man was still alive. Of course it depends on strength. Lin Shu said. Zhao Zicheng and the others were a little confused. By strength, isn't this old man just a junior practitioner? It seems that he only broke through to intermediate practitioner in the past few days. With such weak strength, it doesn't make any sense to face the Iron Demon bull herd. The 3 of them are all advanced practitioners, and they have no resistance to the terrifying Iron Demon cattle herd. Chong Hao's eyes flashed. He recalled the scene where he had seen Lin Shu's body mutate when facing the herd of beasts. Lin Shu is not as simple as it appears on the surface, he is a hidden expert. As for what method Lin Shu used to get out of the predicament, this may be Lin Shu's life-saving trump card, so naturally he can't say it easily. Every practitioner has their own secrets, it's a bit disrespectful to Senior Lin like this. Chong Hao reminded. The three of Zhao Zicheng also quickly realized that their question just now was a bit too much, so they smiled awkwardly and didn't say any more. Lin Shu looked at the four of them, a little puzzled. I have already answered this question, and I survived by defeating the Iron Demon Bull Herd by relying on strength. Why did Chong Hao, Zhao Zicheng and others look like they didn't understand at all, and they said some weird words? Lin Sr., why don't you form a team with us? Chong Hao issued an invitation. He thinks that Lin Shu's strength is very strong, maybe not much worse than himself. The 5-member team is already a fairly large team with high security. The three of Zhao Zicheng are actually unwilling to form a team with an intermediate practitioner, thinking that they will be hindered, but if it is Lin Shu, it will be fine. They still want to find an opportunity to repay their kindness. When the time comes, they are willing to give Lin Shu more of the spoils obtained from hunting the beasts. Lin Shu is already so old, and he still goes out to hunt ferocious beasts. His family must be very poor. They want to help Lin Shu save more money, so that he can retire with peace of mind, without going out to take risks. Yes, Grandpa Lin will come with us, Zhao Zicheng also said. With Lin Shu with them, they have a chance to repay their favor. No, I'm fine by myself. Lin Shu didn't think too much, and refused decisively. One of his purposes for going out of the city is to fight fierce beasts, sharpen his own fighting skills, and accumulate combat experience. With a group of oil bottles, it is not easy to display. It is too strenuous to be distracted to protect the safety of these people. Chong Hao, Zhao Zicheng and others were a little surprised. They didn't expect Lin Shu to reject the invitation to form a team. You know, Chong Hao is well known in the hunting camp. He is powerful and experienced, and many practitioners want to form a team with him. Zhao Zicheng and others were able to form a team with Chong Hao smoothly because they had escaped together. Well, since the senior wants to act alone, then we won't force it. Chong Hao didn't ask the reason, nor did he think about continuing to persuade Lin Shu. However, Junior still wants to remind you that the farther away you are from Kunyan City, the more dangerous it is. These dangers are not only fierce beasts, but also other. Chong Hao lowered his voice a little. Others. Lin Shu immediately thought of a team of one-eyed men he met, killing people and stealing goods, but was killed by Lin Shu. Farewell, we will talk about it next time we have a chance. Chong Hao and others waved goodbye. Lin Shu came to a nearby shop, had dinner, and returned to the hotel to practice. Before practicing, Lin Shu ate another blood spiritual herbs. Like him, there are still very few people who eat 2 blood spiritual herbs in one day. For most practitioners, blood spiritual herbs are already expensive treasures. In order to maximize the efficacy of the medicine, they usually take 1 plant a week. But Lin Shu has a lot of blood and spiritual herbs, so he can eat as much as he wants. After practicing for 5 hours, he fell asleep. The next day, Lin Shu woke up very early, at 6 o'clock. After 2 days of rest, Lin Shu couldn't slack off today. Either go to inquire about lava beasts and red berries, or go out to fight fierce beasts and sharpen yourself. Not long after, Lin Shu saw rows of trucks on the edge of the town, some big and some small. At this moment, Chong Hao and others were beside a large truck, talking with the owner. Lin Shu was a little curious about what the rows of trucks were for, so he walked over to find out. With this price, there is no problem, right? Chong Hao said. No problem. When are you leaving? The owner asked. At this time, Chong Hao saw Lin Shu approaching, so he said with a smile, Senior, are you going out to hunt beasts today? If you want to find a supporter, I can introduce you to some reliable supporter. Lin Shu showed doubts. It was the first time he heard this word. Seeing that Lin Shu didn't know, Chong Hao felt a little strange. Maybe it was the first time Lin Shu went out to hunt fierce beasts. Supporters, to put it bluntly, are porters. You hunters are going to take risks to hunt and kill ferocious beasts. We are responsible for following behind and helping you deal with the spoils. The driver explained himself. That's right, Lin Shu understood in an instant. He was also thinking about how other practitioners handled the trophies, whether it was carrying or dragging, and now he got the answer. It turns out that there are dedicated supporters. Hunters only need to devote themselves to hunting ferocious beasts, and someone will help to deal with the spoils. This is indeed very efficient. Instantly, Lin Shu wanted a supporter. He looked at a pickup truck next to the owner, walked up to the front of the car, and said through the window, "This car probably doesn't have an employer yet, right? I hired it." Inside the car window, a young man and woman looked at Lin Shu in astonishment. After a few seconds, a look of hesitation appeared on the woman's face. They didn't want to cooperate with Lin Shu. The cooperation between supporters and hunters is to extract 5% of the benefits, otherwise, who would like to follow you to take risks and help you consign the spoils, which is also a high-risk job. And Lin Shu looks too old, how can he be so strong at such a young age? Hunting and killing some low-level ferocious beasts at most, the efficiency must be very low, the loot is limited, and the brothers and sisters naturally earn less. If they encounter stronger beasts, it might be their turn to save Lin Shu. They are only responsible for picking up, storing, and transporting the loot, not bodyguards. In short, the earning is small and the risk is high, so they are a little reluctant. They wanted to cooperate with those powerful hunters, such as Chong Hao's team, but unfortunately Chong Hao cooperated with another senior supporter. The woman was just about to say no. The young man hurriedly stopped him and said, "Grandpa, it's okay. My name is Zhao Xing, and this is my little sister Zhao Yu. Next time you go out on an adventure, we will help you deal with the spoils you get from hunting ferocious beasts, and our fee is 5% of the total value of the spoils." 5%, no problem. Lin Shu had hunted so many ferocious beasts before, and the trophies were astonishing, but he didn't want to drag a lot of trophies to hunt the ferocious beasts, it would be troublesome and tiring, so he didn't want all of them. Therefore, for Lin Shu, paying 5% of the profit can reap 95% of the value, which is simply too cost-effective. "You guys take me to a place to see now," Lin Shu said. Back then when he encountered the one-eyed team and killed the one-eyed man and others, there were still a lot of trophies of the Iron Demon Bull left there. It may still be there, or it may have been discovered and taken away by others. Where? Zhao Xing took out a simple map. Lin Shu originally planned to show them the way, but Zhao Xing had a map. Think about it, too, those who often wander in the wilderness can draw a simple map by themselves. That being the case, I will not follow the past. It's probably in this area. There are some spoils there, and they may have been picked up by others. You can go there, I won't go. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.